G'day Year 11 and welcome to your second YouTube lesson. Today we're taking a look at the nature of business. The nature of business is the role, the function, what a business does. Why is it there? Again, what is the purpose or function of a business? Now from the syllabus there's a range of different roles, nature, function of business that you need to be able to understand. These include to provide goods and services, to provide profit, to be able to provide employment, incomes, business there to provide choice, innovation, to provide an avenue for entrepreneurship, but with that comes risk. We'll look at this notion of risk and reward. It's there to be able to provide wealth and improve quality of life of its customers. All right, the first nature of business, the first reason it's there, the very core, the main function of a business is to provide products. Products can either be goods, which are tangible, like, a watch, ring, computers. They're tangible, physical in nature. And that's one thing a business can provide. Or a business can also provide services, which are intangible. They can't be touched. So, seeing a doctor, lawyer, teacher, okay, it's a service that's provided. Or under producing goods and services, you can have a combination of the two. So a business is the key institution that produces goods or services in society. Now, the second reason or role, nature of business is to provide profit. Now, a key function is for a business, any business, is to generate profit. Now, profit is essentially the total sales or revenue that a business makes minus the total cost. We'll take a look at that a little bit later in future lessons. And businesses exist, they're there mainly to generate profit, coin, cashola for its owners. So a second reason again for the existence of a business is to generate profit. Now the next reason for business, another function of business, is to provide employment. Jobs. Employment is jobs for its employees, its workers. And again, these aren't necessarily the core reasons for a business. I mean, businesses don't set themselves up to go, we'll look after everybody else and provide people with jobs. But they are a key function of a business. Now, presently our population is 25 million people. It's fast growing. When I first did my notes here, it was about 23, 22 million. Because of 25 million people, we've got a workforce of 11 million people. That's the amount of workers, 11 to 12 million people working in jobs in Australia. So therefore, business provide a social benefit of employment. They provide Aussies with 11 million jobs that are available. Now, an additional benefit of a business is to provide an income. As discussed above, businesses provide jobs and employment for employees. A benefit of this is that businesses also provide incomes for over 11 million Australians. Okay, now the average wage income that a full-time employee obtained last year was just short of $65,000. So it's vital that businesses are there to provide employment, and as a result of that employment, workers get an income. Me as a teacher, as much as I love teaching you guys, that ain't going to happen unless I'm being provided with some type of financial benefit, like an income. Now the next reason for the existence of business, the function, the nature, the core of business, is to provide choice. It's a little bit more of an abstract concept. All right, businesses, in order to gain a competitive advantage, that is to differentiate themselves from their competition. What does Apple do that's different to Samsung, etc., etc.? Okay, what they will do with their products is to come up with a whole range of different options that people can purchase. And we'll get into innovation later with that as well. So sometimes businesses can be too strong and develop a monopoly. And that's a bit of a problem, because if there's just one seller in a business, the end result is that businesses get lazy and there's less choice. So by having lots of different businesses in the same industry sector or marketplace, it becomes highly competitive and customers are given greater choice in terms of the products that they make. Now, the next function of a business is to provide innovation. Innovation refers to improving upon existing products or designing a new product entirely. Now, many businesses will use a process called R&D, which is research and development. This is where businesses research new technologies, new scientific breakthroughs, and new ways of doing things. They then develop a prototype of this new product. Now, business itself, this notion of business, provides an opportunity to come up with and create new innovative products. If there is no business, there is no research and development that happens, and there is no innovative products that are created. So there's this lack of innovation. Now, the next function of a business is to provide somebody who's interested in starting up their own company. They're called an entrepreneur. It gives them, an entrepreneur, an avenue to be able to sell their products. And without business, there is no entrepreneurs. Now, in the syllabus, it talks about entrepreneurship and risk. Now, it's this risk versus reward. And kids will often say to me, why don't you, sir, start up your own business? You're teaching business studies, why not? And you'll find out in future lessons, as a head teacher presently, $115,000 a year plus on costs, etc., etc. It's a reasonably good coin. Now, there's this opportunity cost. Why don't I start up my own business? Well, I could be a multi-millionaire or billionaire from it. But as we talked about last lesson, within the first 5 years, 70% of businesses fail. So there's a high level of risk associated with business and being an entrepreneur. The rewards can be huge, but they are few and far between. So high risk, potential high reward. Whereas as an employee that I am, much lower risk, but the rewards are going to be much more moderate. Not that high, billionaire potential like Elon Musk and so on. Now, in terms of another avenue or another function of business is to provide or create wealth. As already explained, businesses are there to generate profits, and this is for their owners. Now, this could be, for one owner, as in the term of a sole trader, or it can be for the billions of owners of Telstra, a public company. But when there's profits, that's given to the owners of the business, and that generates wealth. Now, the final nature of business that we need to be aware of is quality of life. Again, it's a bit of a harder term to be able to get your head around. Quality of life refers to improving things for customers, for society, to make people's life of a better standard, of a better quality. Now, because of innovation, because of businesses trying to one-up each other and get a competitive advantage, they often conduct a large amount of research and development to come up with these new exciting products. Now, a nice byproduct of this is that all these new things, such as air conditioners, we once used to have fans. It's the middle of summer in Sydney, it's hot as, fans help a bit, but not really. So businesses that made these fans back in the day, probably when I was a young man, they thought, well, let's try and do something a bit better, something a bit more powerful. And so they developed air conditioning. And because of businesses needing to innovate, they can therefore improve the quality of life of their customers. Okay, guys, thank you very much for listening to this YouTube lesson, and I'll see you guys in class. Goodbye.